Hey guys, it's been very long since we met. Nice to see you all after around 2 weeks gap. I didn't make any video for the past 2 weeks. In today's video, we are going to see how to shoot a video in your DSLR. So what I have learned new is what I'm going to share with you. So it's actually not new, but when I referred for this video, I learned a lot. So let's get into the video. But before that, if you're following me on my Instagram, you'd have seen a crazy video that I made last week of me flying. If you have not seen that video, I will add that video at the end of this video, so watch the video till the end. So what's this video all about? How to shoot a video in a DSLR. So let's make this as the title of this video. So I have made few research on all the things that you need to know before you start your videography career with your DSLR. So let me share all the things that I have learned. What is actually a video? A video is something that is made up of photos. A single second of a video consists of around 24 frames. That is 24 photos in a single second of a video. So in this video, when you watch me, for every second there are almost 24 photos. So that's how a video is formed. This number of images in a second is called as FPS, frames per second. Various DSLRs have different kind of frame rates like 24 frames, 25 frames, 30 frames, 60 frames, 120 frames. You have these many frames per second settings that you can do in your DSLR to have a cinematic or to shoot a general video. Let's start with the cinematic video. So all kind of the cinematic videos that you see in movies or YouTube, all those videos are generally shot in 24 frames per second. Making it in 24 frames per second makes it more cinematic, and hence generally while making a video you can go ahead with 24 frames per second. But if you are going to introduce a slow motion in your video, in those moments you have to use a higher frame rate so that when you slow down the frames, that is when you slow down the video, it looks seamless, it looks very smooth. Based on the speed at which you need your video to be played, you can select your frame rate. Based on the frame rate you select while shooting the video, you can slow down the video. So basically if you're selecting a 120 frames per second in your camera while you're shooting, you can reduce its speed to around 5 times, as 24 into 5 is 120. So you can reduce the speed of the video to around 5 times than that you shot it. That's it. For a slow motion video you can use high frame rates and you can just slow down your videos. So the next thing we have to take care when we are shooting a video is your shutter speed. Generally while you are shooting your video, your shutter speed should be twice that of your frame rate. If you are shooting your video at 25 frames per second, you have to go ahead and keep your shutter speed at 50, that is 1/50th of a second. And if you are going ahead with 120 or 240 frames per second, you have to just double that up and keep your shutter speed and set your shutter speed so that your video looks seamless and it's not very clumsy. The next thing you have to keep in your mind is your aperture. So aperture varies with what kind of video you have to shoot. So if you have to keep your subject fully on focus, you can keep your aperture at a very low rate like f1.8, f2.8, anything that would make the subject more fully clear and makes the background more blur. But if you're going to shoot a wide angle video where you need all the things on the frame to be in focus, you have to keep the aperture at a higher rate, maybe f11 to f16 based on the light in your location. You have to keep it higher so that all the things in your frame is in focus. So the next main thing we have to keep in our mind before shooting a video is this ISO. ISO is the sensitivity of your camera. So if you're not sure about all these camera terminologies or terms, I'll make a special video for that and I will upload that. So the card will be available here. Okay, let's come back. So ISO. So what kind of a change that ISO makes to your video? You can just select your ISO based on your histogram value. Just open your histogram in your camera. If your histogram is towards the right end, then it's overexposed. So you need to reduce the ISO until the histogram reaches the center, and if the histogram is towards the left end, it's very underexposed, where you need to increase the ISO until the histogram reaches the center. But you have to take care that making your ISO too high in your videos may result in waves or noise in your videos, so that won't look good. So have it in mind while you select your ISO. The next thing that you need to focus on while you're shooting a video is focusing. If you're gonna shoot your video in autofocus or manual focus is what I'm talking about now. For YouTube videos, even for this video, I have kept my lens in autofocus, and after a while I have switched it to manual so that it don't fluctuate in between, right? So even while keeping my kit lens in autofocus, it will create some noises. The lens ring sounds will be heard, so that will create bad background sounds in my videos. After focusing myself, I keep my lens in manual focus. If you want a sharp focus, you can just go ahead, keep your autofocus, fix your focus, and then change it to manual so that you would have a crisp focus of your subject. But the best thing that I would suggest is practicing of making your videos in manual focus from when you start, so that in future if you are going to shoot some handheld videos where you can't believe in your autofocus, then your skills would help you. So yes, whichever you are comfortable, go ahead with that. And the next main thing you have to keep in your mind while shooting a video is white balance. Actually, white balance mainly involves in bringing beautiful colors in your videos. So if you have a perfect white balance, you'll get good colors in your video. So there is a sheet called gray sheet, gray card, maybe. So there are steps to keep your white balance perfect so that you can bring those beautiful colors in your videos. So make sure you do that before you shoot any videos. So the next thing, that's maybe an advanced one, but you have to keep in your mind while shooting a video is the mode in which you shoot your video. You have different kind of modes like landscape, portrait, and all those predefined selectable modes in your camera. And in most of the Sony cameras, you would have some modes like S-Log, S-Log1, S-Log2, S-Log3. So based on the color profile you need, you can select your modes. But when I learned on this, the modes of shooting a video, the thing I came to know is that the most recommended thing is shooting at low profile, that is the log profile, where you don't have colors. Like the video would look very dumb. So these kind of low profiles is generally selected for making videos, and in the post-production you can just bring your colors back, and that looks more beautiful than shooting in normal modes. The next main thing you have to keep in your mind while shooting a video is lighting. So if you have good lighting, be it outdoor or indoor, if you have a good lighting, you need not worry about the ISO. You can just keep your ISO low as possible so that there are no noise in your videos. But here for my YouTube video, I don't have any like Godox lights or any aperture lights to make this video to look like a HD kind. I just have a small 200 volt light here and a backlight here behind me, and some serial lights that I have connected to my CPU here. So you can see this green color layer on my hand. This is due to the backlight I have kept behind me. So if I off that light, so you can see the difference. So this is the frame without the backlight, and so that is the serial light. So that's also gone. So this is my studio light setup, which I have managed to bring a good quality in our videos. So lighting is very important to make a better quality video. The last thing that you have to keep in your mind while shooting your video is selecting the perfect lenses for your video. So generally the prime lenses where you can't zoom the videos, where your focal length is fixed, like 35mm lens or the 85mm lens or 50mm lens, those kind of lenses generally bring a cinematic look to your videos because they have a shallow depth of field, as they have lower f numbers, where like f 1.4, 1.8. These kind of lenses have a very low aperture. You can just open, whoop, yes, you can just open that aperture wide, and bring a shallow depth of field and make the video more cinematic. And yes, I have not forgot that I will show you the video where I fly high. Watch this. So how was the video? I hope you watched me flying on the beach. So do you want to know how did I do that? If you want to know how I did that, if you want to know the technique, do comment below and I will make it as a separate video. Woo! If you are new to this channel, go subscribe the channel and hit on the bell icon and I will make sure you don't regret that. Please do comment what kind of videos you need. So, okay. See you guys, we'll meet in another video. Until then, it's your Kario signing off.